Hey guys, George Kurth here from the Couch GMs podcast, and welcome back to another edition of our How To series. Today, we're going to talk about the most common type of fantasy football league and the league that most beginners get started in, and that would be the Redraft League. To get started, why don't we look at what a Redraft League looks like. League sizes can vary anywhere from 8 to 16 teams. But you'll most commonly see 10 or 12 team leagues. These teams are made up of NFL players that battle head to head and see who scores the most points in a given week. The best teams from the regular season make it to the playoffs, where a tournament decides a league champion. But wait, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. You're here to learn how to get started, so why don't we start with breaking down how scoring works. To score points, your starting roster will be judged based on the stats they put up in their NFL games. Passing stats give you 1 point per 25 passing yards, 4 points per passing touchdown, and you lose 2 points for every interception that they throw. Rushing stats give you 1 point per 10 rushing yards, 6 points per rushing touchdown, and you lose 2 points for fumbles. Receiving stats similarly give you 1 point per 10 receiving yards and 6 points per receiving touchdown. And some leagues also include something called PPR, or point per reception. This just means that in a PPR league, you receive 1 point for every pass one of your players catch. In a half PPR, you receive a half a point per catch. And in a standard league, you don't get points for catches. Kickers score points by kicking extra points and field goals. Extra points are worth 1 point, and field goals are worth 3 points, just like in the NFL. Unless the field goal is more than 50 yards long, then they give you 5 points. Team defenses score points for sacks and turnovers, a sack being worth 1 point, interceptions and fumbles worth 2 points, and defensive touchdowns are worth 6 points. Defenses also lose points based on how many points they allow to the opposing team in their NFL game. But what about the players that score you those points? Well, let's take a quick look at how rosters break down. Fantasy football rosters are typically made up of 15 players. You will start 9 players in a given week, and the other 6 are bench players. Your starting roster includes a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex player, who can be a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end, a kicker, and a team defense. You pick these teams by drafting them at the beginning of the season. For help with draft strategies, tips, and more, keep an eye out for more of our how-to series videos, and please check out episode 43 of the Couch GMs podcast, where the boys break down some of their favorite draft tips. You can find us on your favorite podcasting platforms, YouTube, or online at thecouchgms.com. Well, there you have it. Everything you need to know to understand how a redraft fantasy football league works. Thank you for listening in to another fantasy football how-to, and be sure to stay tuned for everything you need to know to dominate your fantasy football leagues.